Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at this British bad boy, the Tortoise. Now, this tank is one of my most frustrating tanks because it's a tank that I just want to love. I just really want to love it. And it's a tank that can be extremely OP. It can be absolutely OP. But for me, I always talk about this tank and the armor profile. I just don't think the armor profile is as strong as it could be. And that is what's frustrating for me, because this whole line, the whole AT line, except for obviously the Death Star, it's always been known for its armor. It's always been known for their armor. They are slow, big, massive tanks with a lot of armor. But these are not so much that anymore. I mean, the Tortoise just has so many weak points. You've got the hatch on top. You've got the cheeks either side of the gun. They are all extremely weak. And this is where, I mean, I know they've been buffed, but I just think that they need more. I mean, it's known to be a super armored tank. We'll give it that super armor. And just because it doesn't have that super armor doesn't mean that you can't bounce shots. You can bounce shots, but you just got to get into a kind of position where you can bounce them shots. Now, one big plus thing going for this tank is the DPM. Almost 4,000 DPM, which is absolutely incredible. Now, this game here, I was surprised just how long I managed to stay alive. And you're not going to believe it, but I actually do not die this game. I don't die this game, and I don't know how. You can see right now, I've got all different types of tanks around me. I've got the waffle behind. I mean, look at that. I managed just to stay alive. And I've got these two light tanks, the Sheridan and the T92, all around me, and I'm still a one-shot. I'm still a one-shot, and somehow I just managed to stay alive. I take a shot there, and now I'm going around, and am I going to get the bounce? Is he reloaded? No, doesn't matter. I take him out. So just dealing with them guys, I managed to get 1,200 block damage, and I still managed to do a decent amount of damage for what I did. I thought I was just going to be absolutely destroyed, but we still done 3k damage. So yeah, I think this has the potential. This tank really, with the gun it's got, the DPM, the HESH, the reload, it has potential to be an amazing tank, Now, obviously, it's a Tortoise. It's a slow tank. It's going to be slow. I haven't got a problem with that. But what I do have a problem is just how weak this tank is. The lower plate, easily penned. The cheeks, easily penned. And the hatch, easily penned. So you can see the whole armor on paper is 254, which is nice. But that is not on the flat surfaces. It's easy to pen. And you can see there 3,905 DPM, which is incredible. Just a 6-second reload. So you've got 259 penetration on your AP, 326 on your APCR, and 120 on your HE. So you can run this with calibrated shells. You're not going to gain too much on your APCR, but I think 326 is enough. But you'll gain some on your HE. So people do run this with calibrated shells, and if you want to run it with calibrated shells, that's fine, but me personally, I just prefer the DPM. So you've got a 400 alpha, and you've got the 515 on your HE. So yeah, you do have 10 degrees, I think, of gun depression or something like that. I just missed that. But yeah, I mean, as I've said, it has the potential to be one of the most broken tanks in the game if it just had armor. That's all I want. Just armor somewhere. Now, what I'm not asking for, and what I haven't been asking for many, many years, is the front of this to be completely impenetrable. Like, buff the hatch, buff the side cheeks, and buff the lower plate. I'm not asking for that, but I just think, you know, maybe buff the hatch and leave the rest, or buff the rest and leave the hatch. You know, because with where the hatch is on the right side of the tank, you can actually get yourself into a position where you can hide that hatch. You know, you can angle it, you can get behind a wall, like this wall here. If I was to get behind it and side scrape from it, I'll be hiding that hatch. So there is a ways around that. But when you've got such weak cheeks as well, and the lower plate, you can't really hide it. Of course, if you do start to angle, then your front plate does become extremely strong and very, very hard to penetrate, but you've still got that hatch. you've still got that hatch that can be easily dealt with. Now, of course, this Borask is not going to do too much, and our guy here should be using HE, but he sadly doesn't quite get the shot because obviously the traverse is slow. It's a slow tank, which is absolutely fine. People can't really moan about that because it's known to be a slow tank. It's really slow, in fact. But yeah, I just think, and I've just, for many years, it needs something else. Now, you can still get out there and have fun in this tank. Obviously not as much fun as you would if it actually had quite a bit of armor. This guy here just donking his shots on this Borask. So this game here, I mean, it's a very good game. It is a very good game. And again, if you can catch tanks off guard, you can absolutely rip into them with that DPM of yours. I mean, 4,000, if you hit your shots, you got to make sure you hit the shots. And also don't be afraid to use that HE because you do have over 100, well, you've got 120 millimeters of pen on your HE, so don't be afraid to use that HE. You're going to be able to pen quite a lot of tanks from the side, especially if you're top tier. I mean, this Borask, you'll be able to HE anywhere. Front, excuse me. You'll be able to penetrate his front, his side, his rear. Just don't be afraid to use that HE because you can do over 500 damage with it. So you can see 500 high roll there. He could have almost killed that guy, but not to worry. He's on a reload and he is going to take him out. So 2.7k damage. It is now a 4 versus 4, but his team are bleeding hit points. However, he still has full hit points, so he's still got some he can still take some damage, but you need to get there, and with how slow the tank is, sometimes it does take a while to get where you want it to be. But like I said, in a position like this, if you had the hatch that was buffed, then this position like here would be a really good position to get yourself in. Now, sadly, he does miss that shot, and now he is going to go for the T-34. Now, at this point, it is a 2 versus 4, and you can see he's not even trying to move. Whilst he was on that reload, if he was just to wiggle and try to angle, then he might be able to get some block damage. But you could see the T-34. He wasn't looking at anything else other than the hatch, and that is what a lot of people will go for. If you try and angle, they're still going to go for that hatch. So yeah, that's the only thing, really, the biggest thing about this tank that I suffer with is the hatch. I can deal with the front plate armor. Like I said, I think it did get buffed, but for me, it's that hatch. It's always been the hatch, and I just feel like with a big tank that's supposed to be really heavily armored, it's not really that armored. So the DPM is insane, and of course it's still a good line to grind. It's still one of the most popular lines to grind, all thanks to the Death Star. Everyone wants the Death Star because of that big massive alpha of that tank. So just 2 tanks to deal with now, and you could just see him ripping into this SMV, and it is just now a 1 versus 1. I think he gets himself lucky because I believe the tank that he's now up against might be AFK. So just 2 minutes left on the clock. He's still bounced 1200 damage. So as I've said, you can still get the block damage, but you just need to get yourself into some positions, hide the hatch, angle, and sometimes you've got to angle and hide the hatch, which it's not easy. It's not easy to do. Luckily for him, he's up against another DPM tank, 4,000 DPM tank, but luckily he is AFK, so he is able to take him out and get the kill and get the well-deserved win. So he still played good. He still played good, and it's a nice tank, and it's a shame because I really want to love this tank. I really want to love it, love it, love it. But at the minute, I like it. That is all. I like it. It's got a beautiful gun, but that is about it. But it has the potential to be extremely OP. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Goodbye.